Dr. Jones, I'll jump in, and I want to start by just for those of us who attended the protest, there was a big sign that read, "The system got y'all thinking legal means right. Don't forget that slavery was legal." I think that is so profound because so many of the things that we participate in, simply because they're legal or they're in guide, doesn't mean that we should participate in them. For me, holding myself accountable is coming up with plans, challenging my council and my mayor and our chief to ensure that we're not just talking. So for instance, we talk about a diversity hiring plan, an equity hiring plan, right? For the school board as well, we spoke about it for the police department. However, how do we intend to hire and attract when we cannot compete? We are not competitive in as much as recruiting anyone at this point because there hasn't been a contract for the police. We're no longer willing to offer retiree health benefits. What is going to make people want to come to work in West Orange? And if we're only offering that to minorities, then what are we intentionally doing about elevating the wealth of the Black community? Because that's also our responsibility. I think we also have to talk about microaggressions. Saying that we'll take implicit bias training isn't enough. What is the intervention? So that's my challenge. What are we doing in this training? What is the follow-up? I'd love to see a racial equity plan that is not just created by us. I want to hear people's voices. I also want to be able to have a membership and for all of us to participate in the National League of Cities in their racial equity and leadership, so that when we create policies, we're doing so through a racial equity lens. That takes some time, I know, but we have to start at some point. And I would say that as far as looking at what our systems are we tracking? Can we create a database that tracks tickets and citations, arrests, code violations? What communities are impacted greater by them? We should be able to have that information at our fingertips. So these are the things that, I mean, obviously don't have all the answers, but these are the things that I am thinking about when I think, how do we move forward from here? And lastly, I will say, these community conversations, I know it's only an hour for today. However, we need to continue to hold them. We need to hold space for our residents' voices to be elevated, for them to be validated. And I have to say this to no offense with anyone. I'm going to challenge my council colleagues and my administration to look at the HRC ordinance and rework it because it has not worked for us. I stopped attending meetings in 2016. That voice is absent for us. I have 2 appointees on there. We all do. However, it does not represent, like Marley Diaz said on the steps of Town Hall, we are there for candlelight vigils for every other community. But when violence is impacted against Black communities, this administration and the HRC, who is charged with this, is silent. We have a problem. So that's how I am going to hold myself accountable, by making sure that I not only call it out, but I offer a solution. So let's work at looking at what's not right and let's rework it and fix it. That's my space and accountability.